Mother. Man.
Marco.
Polo.
Marco.
Well, holy fuck, there's a dead guy floating in the water, dude. What the hell?
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem! Warning! Trigger alert! Warning! Trigger alert! Warning! Trigger alert! Warning!
Well,
These
they've been warned.
motherfuckers been warned. What the fuck's up, motherfuckers?
That's right. And it's Wednesday, and we're throwing down a brand new Murder Metal Mayhem in Horns High Studios for the Horns High Productions. Keep wanting to put the in there. It's hard to get out of that habit. Episode 260 going down tonight. Doing this a day later because Chris had some family time, girlfriend's birthday, and all that good stuff.
Yes,
and no big deal. I always said, Chris, from the very beginning.
Always was 100% thing. Family comes first. We got to change something up. We got to change it up. It is what it is.
And we still feel that way here.
So even though it was yesterday, I'm still going to say it on the air. Happy birthday, Courtney.
That's right. Happy birthday, Courtney. I'm here in Horns High with Chris. Joey over there in his own 419 studios in Toledo. What's up, Joey?
Toledo, Ohio, represent.
Oh, yeah. Man, Toledo, Ohio is fucking representing the fucking top 10, man. Very impressive. Yep. Very impressive. So, but we were off last week because you went on a cruise, which is freaking awesome. I can't wait to hear about it. But
I'm hoping there's a mayhem they're going to tell about it.
Yeah, is there any dentures lost or anything like that?
Actually, not too much mayhem. I kept it pretty chill. I was with Stephanie and my parents were there, so it was good times. But yeah, I'll fucking talk a little bit about it.
That's
the reason why we were off last week. But we did do the bonus though.
We did. We had a good one for them. So. What t-shirts we got on tonight, Chris? What are you doing over there?
Got Beavis right here. I am the great Cornholio.
Cornholio shirt. Gotta love that shit. That's some good stuff. Joey, how about you, man?
I figured since we were doing a Texas case, I would wear the deflowered shirt, the old school style. And also I pulled out the green aborning hat, of which there were only a few.
Nice.
So, real quick, though, it is a Texas case. We're Beavis and Butthead from Texas because I feel like fucking Mr. Anderson and Hank Hill are the same person. And fucking,
I mean,
it's very possible. It's very possible.
Mike Judge is from Texas.
See,
that's right. That's right. That's
boom.
funny. Could very well be. That's great. But I've got my Grave Ghoul shirt on, one-man project from the UK. Love those guys. Badass. And, and we're here. We got the masks behind us, of course. We got friggin' Eileen Warnos. Got Ramirez and got old Anton LaVey over there on the right. But, yeah, definitely some good stuff. Or the left. Yeah, it's all reversed. So you get my point. The one with the horns is Anton LaVey. But I've been doing a roll call when I do the lives on YouTube. So I've been calling off who the masks are behind me. Some of them are more obvious than others in the weird lighting I got going on.
Right.
But we, as Joey pointed out, man, we gave you a good bonus episode last week with the God's Misfit cult. Those guys appeared in court again today. Just a status hearing, but all 5 of them paraded out one at a time. And so that was kind of cool. But I saw that this afternoon. Yeah, they were bringing them in. They all got a different deputy took them over, but all 5 of them were there. But that's a current case going on with this insane group of extreme white right-wing like fanatics in Oklahoma. Took it upon themselves to carry justice out as they saw fit and murdered 2 women over this bitter custody dispute. I mean, really fucked up.
Yeah, after fucking Joey saw me, those people like that think they can take.
Yeah, I mean, it was really terrible, but 5 of them were arrested, and we were passing 850 to that one today, and which is very good for a bonus episode, and another 450 on YouTube. So YouTube really killing it on the listens and views and all that. So thanks, however you're listening, we appreciate it. We also put out some episodes of the 666 Seconds of Murder stuff and my True Crime Deep Cuts series. I did another one on Friday that's gotten a ton of listens or views. Was like 12,000, 13,000 when I looked today. But go on and subscribe if you haven't. If you don't want, you don't want to miss any of this stuff. Got so much going on. So check them out. We got 2 different YouTube channels. We got the Throw in the Horns, where Shane and I are doing, and I'll link to both of those down in the description.
Fucking right.
Tonight, doing a fascinating case, guys, from Austin, Texas, man.
This is an odd one to me, because is this the first one we've done that's unsolved?
No. I mean, we've done, we did the Black Dahlia. We've done some.
We have, okay.
But not many. We don't typically do unsolved cases,
Right. I forgot about, like, Black Dahlia. We did Jack the Ripper, too.
Zodiac, that's right. Yeah, we've done a few. Not our usual, though, for sure. But, it's an interesting one.
Those are major things, too, and I forgot about them. Shows you how many we've done.
We've done so many. But she was dubbed the Rainey Street Ripper. 12 dead bodies found in Lady Bird Lake. Kind of an interesting name. The Austin PD wants to call them accidental drownings, but the citizens have a little different outlook on this, and some were found bound, duct tape around their heads.
Yeah, accidental.
Crazy shit like that. I mean, that doesn't sound like
remember Tape Man back in the day?
Oh, yeah, Tape Guy.
Yeah,
Tape Guy. Fuck yeah. So there have been a few survivors, and we'll dig into those details with our good buddy, of course, Tex. Warming up in the bullpen, throwing 100-mile-plus heaters, ready, fucking getting fired up. So anxious. And then, Chris, you got the horns tonight.
You know what? I was just thinking, because we were talking about unsolved cases and shit, and I was watching this thing the other day about, remember up in Chicago, that Lane Bryant shooting? Where the Lane Bryant store got... And, I remember that because I remember when it happened, because, I mean, I was working retail at the time, in Illinois, fucking, so everybody got kind of freaked out, but...
Sure. For some reason, I thought you said Luke Bryant's story. I was like, what the fuck?
But one thing that I fucking... I guess I just never thought about it or whatever, but that's one of the only unsolved mass murders in the U.S., Like, them people went in there, killed a bunch of people, and no one has ever been caught for that.
That is fucking crazy.
That is fucked up.
Yeah, and I always remember there was a shooting at the Lane Bryant, but I never remembered that it was an unsolved case still. So, yeah, pretty fucking weird. So, we talk about unsolved cases, it just made me think of that.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Chris, you got the horns tonight now. Who are you going to cover tonight?
I am going to do Crypta.
Crypta, hell yeah. And anxious to hear about them. I do like what I've heard, though, of their stuff. And then I got a lost classic to deal. And we'll be talking about what metal we've been listening to. So much good stuff has been coming out. A lot of good stuff getting ready to come out. Also, a little update on Throwing the Horns. And we'll do that in the metal segment. So stick around for that. And then, of course, got to do that killer cage match. You guys know the deal.
Always.
That's where we have a list of 100 killers that we came up with, 100 objects for them to fight with, and a variable in the cage, and a song cranking out as they fight to the death. Got to love it. It's a blast. Got our listeners to thank for the random numbers, Chris.
Yes, we do. And tonight we have the one and only fucking Mrs. CK fucking Laura Kovacs. Hell yeah, the legend. Yeah. We have Veronica Sarah Love. How's it going, Veronica?
Thank you,
And
Veronica.
we got our fucking friend Holly Joe Ziegler.
Hell yeah,
What's going on, Holly?
Excellent. And we got a good one tonight in the steel cage, Joey. Who is going to go at it tonight?
Well, this will be a pretty fun one, but I feel like it's kind of one-sided.
I feel like it's very one-sided.
But
right.
Anyway, from we're gonna go up to Plainfield, Wisconsin, and grab old Eddie Gein.
Oh no!
And he's gonna be going up against Babyface Nelson.
I was dying.
He'll pound a motherfucker. Yeah.
Well, you know, the first number that came up was Gein, right? So I'm like, oh god, like it's got to be like a woman or like Pomeroy, but I think Pomeroy fought Gein one time. But
I think we had them together once.
So I was looking at the second number and it came up on Babyface Nelson. I'm like, oh, that's just fucking epic. So yeah, Babyface, my favorite of the gangsters. So that should be great. And we know the objects, Chris, can make this.
The objects definitely can make it different. And that variable, who knows what the fuck it is?
Yeah, it's a good one tonight. It's a good one. It might involve somebody that you're related to, but I'm not sure.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That kind of says it's probably somebody I'm related to.
I don't know. I mean, my memory is not what it used to be, Chris. And a song playing on that custom 666,000 watt custom Murder Metal Mayhem stereo. And it's a listener favorite for a reason. And we're going to do it in the Mayhem segment, so you got to keep on listening. Big thanks to everybody that listens and spreading the word to your friends and coworkers and whoever. We had 5,100 total listens plus another 42,000 views on YouTube.
That's
so
fucking
thank you.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. So keep on spreading the word to all those freaks and freakettes that you know. We appreciate it. Top 10 cities listening, Joey. Why don't you run this down, dude?
Number 1, Chicago. 2, right here, Toledo, Ohio. Moved on up. 3, still 3, fucking holding it down, is Brisbane and Queensland, Australia. 4, Honolulu, Hawaii. 5, Decatur, Illinois.
Nice.
6, Riverdale Park, Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
New one. I like that.
Yeah.
That's new.
7, Denver, Colorado. 8 is Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada.
Oh.
And 9 is Mansfield, Massachusetts. 10, Rochester, New York. Hell yeah.
Get the fuck shit
Very
in.
cool. Very cool. And Chris, how about the countries that
always fucking United States is number 1.
We appreciate it, U.S.
So. USA, USA, US.
But 80%, that's about average
Hell
for
yeah.
us, you know.
Then Canada's got Australia has 7%.
Nice.
And then Canada has 4%, Germany with 2%, and the rest are 1% or less. Is the UK, Sweden, Finland, Brazil, Argentina, and Russia.
Yeah, Russia. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody that's listening. So thank you all very much. The YouTube stats in the last month, we have had, this is a record, 219,000 total views. 41,900 watch hours, and we gained 1,100 new subscribers.
That's dope.
We passed 7,900 this morning or last night, so we should be hitting 8,000 probably this weekend, which is fucking amazing. So
that's good for us being fucking 3 fucking dumbass white dudes from the Middle East Midwest.
So yeah, and I checked our total views on the channel since it started back in 2018. We're at 999,000, so less than 1,000 away from hitting 1 million, which is just fucking staggering. So wow. And we appreciate it. And thanks to the Horns High Club. You guys are the membership on the channel. Of course, we get the 666 Club, the membership here on the podcast, and all of you are fucking awesome, and we appreciate you very much.
Yes, we do. Fucking right.
And make sure you check out the website, murdermetalmayhem.com. We're getting a lot more traffic to the website, which is cool. But we do have a store there, so I encourage people to check it out. We got some good merch. And so, yeah. What do you think?
I think I want to know what the fuck Joey's fucking smoking on. I hear that bubbler keep going off, dude.
Today I got the Yoda and cream from Dutch Touch Genetics. What are you fucking drinking on, Chris?
Dude, I got from right here in fucking Bloomington, Illinois, man. Fucking
nice.
From White Oak Brewery.
There you go.
It's called fucking the Brass Rail. It's a American Red Ale. It's fucking fire, dude. It's a salute to fucking firefighters. It's got like firefighter and shit on the can, and it's like 5.5% alcohol, but it's a fire ass beer. You could probably get on their website and have some delivered to you. Fucking.
There you go.
But yeah,
there you go.
I've had this before at the brewery, so
that's awesome.
But I just wanted to bring something in that was like really local. So there we go.
There you go. Well, guys, as always, we got a lot on our plate. Taking a trip south to the great state of Texas, but we're going to meet up with our buddy Tex.
Yes, we are.
And see what this lake is that he wants us to go swimming in
while
we're
there.
And I'm not sure. You're not going to swim in the lake, but I don't know, Chris. What do we need to do, man?
Let's get our. It's not really a murder on.
Yeah, fucking 200 stab wounds. Those guys are so wicked. Hands of Eternity from their upcoming album. I advanced ordered that shit. I can't even wait. But those guys are absolutely sick, Joey. I've been doing a deep dive in them and just loving it from Cleveland. Killer. Really, really killer. And we got Tex here with us. How's it going, my friend?
Hey, it's going real well, man. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for my partner, Herf Applewhite, back here.
Hell yeah.
He told me I had to go check
got
my
that
mail.
new assistant.
Yeah, when you told me I had to go check my mail, I didn't know what to expect. But
right?
Yeah, he's badass,
That's
man.
funny.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, of course, my friend. But tonight we're doing an unsolved case, not something we do commonly, like Chris pointed out earlier. The Rainey Street Ripper there in Austin, Texas. But not everyone thinks that this is the work of a serial killer. I mean, this is
the
still...
people that should think it is don't.
Yeah, I've been seeing this more and more when I do these true crime stories. It's fucked up. This is still actively going on. It's eluded the Austin PD for a while. And just in the last 2 years, they have recovered 12 bodies from Lady Bird Lake, which is a man-made lake that you're not allowed to swim in, that connects to the Colorado River, which runs through Austin from the north. It's got a very interesting dark history, and we're going to get into that. But these bodies are just turning up, and these victims, mostly male, all but one, 20s and 30s mostly, hitting the bars on Rainey Street in downtown Austin. I mean,
do you notice how many of the victims have that they know who they are, have John in their name?
I did not notice that. That's interesting.
There's like a John Honey. Another dude's last name is John, and there's a John. Another dude's first name is John.
Oh wow. Yeah, I had not noticed that. That's an interesting point. But the most recent one is a female, and there was one victim who was 59, but most were much younger, and they should have just gone to the Nation. I mean, and avoided all this fucking bullshit, Chris.
Yeah, there's
or
no
maybe
water.
419 with Joey. You know, that's another option. But this is some scary shit. And I mean, I'm anxious to talk with Tex, because you're there in Texas, and I'm sure you're very well aware of this one. You're the one that brought it up to me, if I'm not mistaken, Tex. But what is it about this one you think is going to be good for us to talk about?
Well, really, to tell you the truth, I initially thought about this topic for the YouTube channel, but I'm glad we're getting it out on the podcast too. Miss Tex and I were in Austin a lot, and we kept hearing about all the bodies being discovered in the lake. And then I started Googling it. And,
not nice, but...
Yeah, man, there's like a ton of articles, a ton of news stories on TV and everything about it. And there seems to be a lot of interest in it from the journalists, but law enforcement, they're kind of like steering clear of it. So, I mean, we're going to get into that, but yeah.
Right. Maybe this would be a good topic for the true crime deep cuts ones I do that are longer than the 666 seconds videos. But let's get together on that after this is done. But yeah, I think that would be good. If I didn't pick up on that, dude, I'm sorry. It's just been like insanity at the Orange Eye Studios here. It's been nuts. But Chris, as our resident, alcohol abuse expert.
Hey, dude. I do not abuse alcohol. It abuses me.
Oh, it abuses you. Well, you might be called on to explain how someone gets hammered enough to not remember what happened like this. And in this case, I mean, you got successful young men just dying under very mysterious circumstances, dude.
If you need to ask me any questions about alcoholism, I'll do my best to answer. But yeah, these dudes, they're just out partying and shit. And like, normally, like serial killer victims are like what we said before, like prostitutes, the homeless, or just random women, like females most of the time.
Right.
But I don't know, these dudes just out here making money, out partying on Rainey Street, fucking bouncing. Next thing you know, they're gone.
Yeah, definitely strange. And Joey, we don't do the unsolved cases much, but this is an interesting one. How familiar were you with this one? And what do you think about the others? Will other people be familiar with it?
No, I don't know. This is a pretty unheard of case. I think I heard.
Right.
The only reason I even think I remember hearing about it is because I've heard Lady Bird Lake, and there's no other reason I would have heard that.
Right.
See, again, I'm going back to King of the Hill one more time.
Right.
Hank's fucking dog's name. Hank's dog's name was Lady Bird.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
Whenever we talk about bodies in a lake, you know what we always say. Let the bodies hit the shore.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Now, I had never heard of this one before. I moved from Texas in 1994 after I was medically discharged from the Army. It is a beautiful city, though. Lots of live music, all kinds, metal, whatever. But I can see how anyone in this area would have been very well aware of this, but we just don't hear about serial murder cases today with this many bodies. And, the 12 bodies I mentioned are just really the tip of the iceberg here. I think this is going to be a good
pretty
one.
Crazy.
It really is. So Lady Bird Lake was named as such after the former First Lady, wife of President Lyndon Johnson. Lady Bird was her nickname. The original name was Town Lake. That's pretty lame. That's like Screen Door Intruder.
Town Lake.
I mean, come on, guys.
Where
So
you going,
they upped it with Lady Bird Lake.
I'll go.
It's unique.
It's better.
It's unique.
It's better than just Town Lake.
It is. Or the Lake would have been.
Yeah.
That would have been another one of Ricky's offspring to go with the hotel, the lake.
I would have preferred just the lake because everybody says, "What are you doing today? Going to the lake?"
Yeah, there you go. But it's a river-like reservoir on the Colorado River, as I mentioned earlier, in Austin. So the river flows south into this reservoir, created in 1960 to cool down the city's power plant, which is not even there at this location anymore. But the river and lake area, really exploded, and it does offer flood control from the river to have somewhere to
have
go.
That reservoir for the water to fall into.
Yeah,
which is awesome, actually.
And Lady Bird Johnson was a huge proponent of the reservoir and wanted them to build like walking areas and bike trails and lots of shrubs and trees and all this.
Make it a spot that's pretty
very nice.
It's a nature preserve kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so. And that's why they changed it to her honor. And she put up $20,000 of her own money, and in 1960 that would be $279,000 today. So that's some serious jack.
It's not a small chunk of change.
No, that was very cool. So yeah, Lady Bird Lake is a huge recreational spot still today. But Tex, what's up with the no swimming though in the lake, man? What was the deal?
Well, right up until like 1960, they allowed swimming and stuff, but I always heard, like for the last, I don't know, I've been here for like 30 years, that it was contaminated, that there was a lot of like E. coli and shit like that, and runoff from the power plant and stuff like that. But the real reason is because there's a city ordinance, because there was a shit ton of drownings between like 1960 and 1964, and something about the currents and there's bridge debris.
Undertows,
so if you like dive off the shore or dive off the bridge, you'll impale yourself on a rebar or bonk your head on a bridge and shit like that.
Nice.
So that's why they don't. Yeah, that's why they don't allow swimming, but they do allow paddleboarding, kayaking, and other water, like water activities like that.
So
the ordinance is like really weird.
Yeah.
Written.
So you could be out on a paddleboard or kayak or whatnot, and you can have a boat out there. Now, can you water? Yeah. Can you water ski?
No, you can't have like power boats and shit like that, but you can have paddleboards and kayaks.
Okay, no motorboats, so like canoes and shit like that. What?
No, like way up the river up north, they can have, regular like ski boats and shit like that.
Right. Nothing motor powered, all man powered shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But it looks beautiful though, Tex, in the video and pictures I've seen. And I know Austin's beautiful. I just don't think I was down there, but really, really nice, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
So.
And they didn't really, they didn't name it Lady Bird Lake until 2007 when she passed away.
Oh, okay.
It was Town Lake up until then. So,
okay. Interesting. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that for sure. But Chris, the Rainey Street Ripper, definitely better than the other, which was Lady Bird Lake serial killer. That's just too
Rainey
much.
Street Ripper's way better moniker.
That's too much, man. That's like a VIN number, man. That's too much. Yeah.
Rainey Street Ripper's
I like that one.
way fucking better, dude.
Yeah, definitely. But these bodies start showing up in 2015 in the lake, but in the media they're saying, it was 2022 when the murder started. So what do you think, man?
When you got 12 bodies in fucking 2 years,
that's a lot.
That's a fucking lot. Now, knowing what Tex just said, like, it was notorious for having a lot of drownings and everything. It's not gonna hurt. Like, people are dumb these days, so maybe they did just fucking go just run themselves and watch me jump into the lake, dude. Somebody bet them, but I get how people are freaking out about it because that's a lot of bodies really fucking fast.
Right.
Not just like, we found one this year. 3 years later, somebody drowned. Nothing like that. 12 bodies in 24 months. Fuck that, dude. And so, like, the fucking people in the city are freaking out. Like, this isn't common. This just popped up.
Yeah,
Why
is
this happening all of a sudden?
Every other month. That's a lot, man. But I watched a really good documentary about this on YouTube. I also read several newspaper articles and used which I didn't even know existed. I don't think I had run across this before, the serial killer database website, which was cool. Most of the stories are the same with these victims. They're men, mostly successful. They're drinking downtown bars, like we said, along Rainey Street. And Tex, what is that area like? I know you had said you'd been there before, but what can you describe it for us, so people that aren't familiar with the area?
Yeah, like in the early to mid 90s, I used to be down there all the fucking time, man, drinking and doing other things.
Acting the fool.
And
doing
other things.
It's been a good couple decades since I've been down there. But, Austin is the hub of Texas politics and shit like that. And it's also the home of, the University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns.
Right.
It being a college town, it's weekly parties and shit in the streets. There's heavy police presence on the weekends, like around 6th Street area.
Right.
And Rainey Street is south of that, and it runs like north to south to the lake, and it's kind of like on the extreme outskirts of the bars, but there are bars down there, obviously.
Right.
Obviously.
That's what Austin is a bunch of bars.
It's a bunch of bars and politicians.
It's a party atmosphere.
But I remember it being a very clean city, though. A very, very clean city.
It used to be.
Okay, so it's changed. Because I know New York used to be a shithole, and then Giuliani got in there and really cleaned up the city, and it was a marked difference. You had tourists wanting to come back. Who wants to go to a crime-ridden, shitbox? It's turned into something worse than what I remember then.
Yeah, I think on like Saturday nights, Friday, Saturday nights, it's pretty rough down there. So still beautiful though.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so it's just, you know, like any big city downtown, you know, a lot of stuff going on, like Tex is saying. So Joey, I mean, what they believe is the case with these victims is they're likely drugged with like GBH or something like that. And not that you're, you know anything about drugs or anything, but
he doesn't know goddamn thing
what do
about
you
drugs.
think would, you know, be going on when you're getting drugged with something like that?
I mean, that would be the optimal fucking chance for somebody to get somebody in the bars. Of course, we've seen it numerous times, date rape, drugs, and all that. You know, prevalent. But what's hard to understand is these cases. This is a newer case. Like, these bodies have been washing up like recently. Let the bodies hit the shore. You know.
Right.
And sure. What I don't get is if there's some kind of drugs being used in this day and age, can't they detect that shit and figure it out?
Right, the toxicology reports
You would
and
think,
shit.
Right.
man. You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was amazed. They were talking about like these different things that women use to detect that in their drinks with like straws, and I was like, man, that's crazy that a fucking person has to think like that. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
what the fuck does that say about this fucking world that you got to be like that? You know, like, god damn.
I'd be like, oh shit, I turned away from my drink for 3 seconds. Now I gotta
God
check it.
Fucking mighty. It's just this kind of shit just gets me mad. I'm like, these people are just so fucking shitty, and like Joey's saying, it's so vulnerable. So that's why they believe, you know, depending on what I read or watched, could have been potentially involving bartenders that were slipping them something, and then maybe working in a team, 2-person team, maybe another person inside, one outside, and they're communicating. You know, there's another one option. It certainly could be one person if they were really slick.
As Jeffrey Dahmer showed us, you know, like,
right, it's
man,
totally
that's
doable.
the best situation. You get somebody that's already inebriated and they're drinking,
right?
You know, you
help
offer
them.
the drug, or don't offer, but you know, slip them the drug, or maybe offer them, maybe if they're looking to party, you know. And
right.
The thing is now, most of the time, you can leave with this person and it doesn't look like they're under any kind of duress or anything. They're willingly going because they don't know what the fuck's going on because they're all fucked up, and you know, but you're able to walk out of this place with this potential victim, right? And you know, do what you can. So in a big place like Austin, where there's fucking population and foot traffic everywhere,
right? And at that point, you're already talking. You're running, having a good time together. Nobody's going to look at you any different than you were already.
Right.
So once
it's not like you're dragging them out or something like that.
You're just walking out with this person.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But I mean, Tex, I'm sure the Austin PD, like a lot of these cases I look at, they're saying these are accidental. I mean, what is going on, man?
I mean, in my opinion, dude, I think, you know, there's ample evidence for there to be a serial killer. But at the same time, part of the Austin PD's job is, like, you know, to encourage public calm and confidence, to reduce fear, you know, dissuade potential copycats too. Just think of the panic cases like, I don't know, like the Night Stalker or the Hillside Stranglers, all the panic they produced.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just a fearful time. All that stuff.
I mean, it's fucking Texas, dude. You guys fucking all carry guns. Like, what the fuck?
You would think we do.
Yeah, I mean, we see this a lot. These PDs don't want to. They're not going to want to get the public all wound up with a serial killer, you know, tag on this thing. But it's definitely. I would agree with you. I mean, I would think it really does seem to be a serial killer with that many similarities, you know, the same victim type, the same dumping location.
Right, that MO's there.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like a copycat to me. It seems like the same person, but I mean, Chris, the first one they found had his hands bound and duct tape around his head. I mean,
yeah, duct tape around his whole fucking head. Like, that was a straight up murder.
Right.
You can't tell me that was accidental. Oh, this guy just like, hey, bro, just tape me up and I'm gonna walk until I fall in the fucking leg. Like,
exactly.
That'd be assisted suicide if that's what happened. But that didn't
Right.
fucking happen, bro.
No.
Like, and maybe the because of that, that's why people think it's a serial killer. Because how many of the bodies were actually bound at all?
I don't know if I saw a number on that, but there were multiple ones that were bound.
Right.
But not all of them.
I thought there was multiple ones, but like, so you got multiple bodies coming out of this lake bound up, maybe not with the duct tape all around their head. That's not a suicide, dude. I mean, I guess I just don't think it.
No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to fucking make sure you fucking died, you could wrap your fucking feet.
You could.
And it's possible to wrap your hands and then just
we had
jump.
that Barari deal with
Right.
the fucking 12 of them in the fucking
Exactly,
circle.
and
That
just
was
jump in
crazy.
the fucking lake. You can't do nothing. Like,
Yeah, I don't know, man. But
I
one
think
body.
fucking suicide by drowning is the fucking one of the worst ways you could fucking
Oh
ever
my
do
God!
it.
Yeah, who would go for that option? I don't know.
Aquatic bondage accidents.
So there's one body found in 2015, one in 2018, 3 in 2022, 4 in 2023, and one already this year, just a few months ago, was that female. Slowly escalating, but it is something we see with serial killers, and we also don't know, is he or she possibly murdering other people and just not dumping them that way? You know, we don't know, obviously, but
Right.
that's
person's
because that
out
is
there killing.
weird. You don't normally see that long a period of time between murders. If this is what, you know, we're saying maybe a serial killer, that's a long amount of time between, you know, so you wonder what else were they doing, or were they
Not
locked
really.
up?
I mean,
You know, we don't know.
dormant.
Maybe they were locked up. You know, that's always possible.
That's when they got off of their blood. They don't remember doing this. They were just fucking drunk the whole time. Like, yeah.
Right.
Now they're out of their blackout going, oh shit, did I do this?
Yeah.
And then go
Definitely.
get drunk about it and go kill somebody.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Now, there's only female victim that we know of, and I wonder if the fact that the victims were all men but one, and also that many of them were not white, that maybe that's a possibility that this was more outside of Texas, not as big of a hype. Whereas obviously in Texas you would, and especially by Austin being the capital and all of those things Tex mentioned of the area. But outside of that market, maybe not as big of a story.
Right.
But when you got 4 college students in Idaho, you know, young, attractive college students, 3 of them were women, those cases always seem to get more attention. Or like Natalie Holloway, you know, how many missing girls are there?
Mm-hmm.
Why in the fuck were we hearing about
Right,
that for
right.
God knows how long? And I'm not saying we shouldn't have. I'm just saying, I mean, for the others, you know, it's like why her? You
Push them
know,
off to the back.
she was the blonde college girl, you know, so they just get more attention. It's just right or wrong, it's fact, you know. But Joey, one of the survivors then came forward, man, this Jeff Jones. What was his deal?
Joof.
He was 38-year-old. Says he survived the Rainey Street Ripper back in last June.
Yeah.
He was at a bachelor party, and he had about a bunch of his friends from Boston. And
Boston.
I mean, I don't know what the deal is that he ends up falling off a 24-foot bridge.
Jesus.
So I don't know
Wow.
what they're doing.
Sounds like the
But-
Hangover fucking movies, you know.
He fucked
But
up.
what was his connection with the, like, how did he survive though?
Well, somebody found him down there and called 911, and they saved his life.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah,
like,
and they
could
found,
he have just fallen himself though?
Oh, I don't know. Tex, do you know where this is, this famous bridge?
Yeah, it's like on the lower southeastern side of the area they're finding the bodies. And he's saying that he remembers somebody pushing him off the bridge. And also,
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
the toxicology report, he had rohypnol in his system. Like a big dose of rohypnol.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
scary.
It is fucking scary, but yeah, it's fucking metal rods in his back. 2 weeks later, waking up like, holy shit, that's crazy. But But Chris, I mean, that's a good way to lose your teeth, man, if you fell off a 24-foot bridge. You know?
Again, we're going to go back to getting blackout drunk. Good way to lose your teeth is go to FTA, drink a shit ton of fucking beer, go pass out in a fucking pasture. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do. Don't need to fall off a bridge.
You don't got to fall off a bridge. Okay. You can just lay there in the soft grass and not even move and lose them some bitches.
So, yeah, as Tex says, they found the roofies in his system. Original purpose of those was for insomnia, to treat insomnia, but he's lucky that he landed on the ground and not in the water, because then he would have drowned.
So it's hitting the ground at 24 feet.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't want to fucking do it.
To say that he was lucky waking up with metal rods in his back 2 weeks later, but still, I mean, I guess it's better than the alternative.
Could not walk. Be dead.
Right. But he separated from his group about 1 o'clock and then doesn't remember a whole lot after that. And he was 6'3", and said he was, was able to handle his alcohol. So, it's fucked up. Definitely seems like, what we're thinking it is. So the 911 call comes in when someone finds him unresponsive beneath this historic 6th Street Bridge. And amazing that they found him before, like, the rats got to him.
Fucking
that would have been
Kuklinski would have been like, now
that's
you're
a
in my
Kuklinski
spot.
deal. I don't know. They get river rats down there, Tex, do you know?
Oh, yeah. Big as your head, man.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I know in
head,
New York there's a bunch of those, so that's why I figured there probably was. But what's Austin like, like the citizenry here while all this shit is going on? Because the PD is, I'm sure, under fire and catching all kinds of shit.
I'm pretty sure, Rainey Street down that end is kind of, people are a little hesitant to go down there now, but as far as like the rest of Austin, you don't really hear a whole lot of, people taking any other type of precautions. So, you don't really think about a serial killer most of the time. And but there are tons of social media, excuse me, tons of social media groups, podcasters, and journalists. They're all of the same mind as me. I think all these murders are connected, and I'm not going down there. Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be going down there either, dude. It's until they get this shit figured out. I mean, who knows? It could be one person, or it could be like the Schenkel Butcher thing, where there was a whole team of them doing shit like this, in that van. Remember that shit, Joey? I mean, those guys are absolutely brutal, man. The stuff they were doing. So I don't know, man. It's definitely a crazy one. But what do you think, Joey? Do you think this is a serial killer? Do you think these are just kind of unrelated?
I mean, I could see how it definitely could be a serial killer. The thing that the cops have some advantages over what the rest of us have that maybe make their decision on not calling it a serial killer easier. And
That's true.
they have all the phone records from all these people. They know where all their pings were, so they can see if there was no connected correlation between them. They know any video footage there is of any of these victims in any bars beforehand, on the streets beforehand, or whatever.
Right.
They've seen all that shit. They've seen all the pings, so they can obviously make a more scientific guess than what I could. But can I see, the similarities in some of the victims, and does it seem like, the MO of things that we've talked about before? Absolutely. And is Austin a big enough place that it can house, numerous serial killers? Of course it is. So,
right.
The possibility is definitely there.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, too, another similarity with these victims is their valuables weren't taken, which is very strange, right?
And none of them were like
very strange.
And none of them were like beaten or anything. There was
That's true.
No, like,
I don't believe there were. Yeah, so very,
not sexually
very
assaulted, nothing like that.
Right. So it's like, what was the purpose? I wondered too, like in New York, a lot of back in the day when the true crime or the crime families were like at their peak, in like the 70s in New York City, a lot of those gangsters were going to they called it the Pines, but it's a part of New Jersey where it's just like sandy and these like scrub pine trees. It's like pitiful looking, but it's like goes on and goes on and goes on. And these guys would go down to the Pine Barrens, is what they called them, and they would bury these, people because nobody's ever going to fucking find them, So I wondered if it was something like that, where there was maybe some sort of crime activity or whatever, and that was a convenient place to dump them.
Get rid of them.
So it could have been multiple people. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a true serial killer because of the gaps in the time, unless he was locked up, and that could maybe explain that cooling off for that long. But I do tend to lean, as we're talking with us all here now, that maybe it is just a multiple. Like Joey said, you get a city of that size. I don't know how many million people are in. I didn't look to see how many were in Austin, but got to be a bunch. So
yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, so it definitely could be multiple. It's just interesting to bat it around, I think.
It's a female bartender that's just tired of the same fucking type of guy hitting on her.
I wondered if it was a female or a couple of females doing this.
Fuck this, man.
I could see a couple of females that had gotten burned by guys like that in the bars, and who knows, man? I mean,
fuck these fuck boys.
A woman could push a fucking 6'3" dude on fucking roofies off a bridge pretty easy if she wanted to.
Fuck yeah, she could.
Now, I did see that there are some people who believe the smiley face killer could be operating in that area, which is interesting. Due to that smiley face painted on the sidewalk near one of those victims.
That's normal graffiti, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that's an entire episode, though, the smiley face killer, because those are really pretty crazy, also unsolved in New York City. But in this one, I'm just not seeing it, because like you said, that's common enough. Forrest Gump, made it famous again, the smiley face.
Shit happens.
Run, Forrest. So, Tex, with most of the most recent victim being a female, I mean, do you think she may be related here, or do you think she's kind of an outlier?
Honestly, I think she's an outlier. It only being one. But she's not the latest one.
Really?
Like yesterday, I was looking at some more articles. There were 2 more bodies found.
Oh my God!
In April, one on the 13th, and I forget what the other date was.
Holy shit!
Yeah, there were 2 more found.
Oh wow!
Crazy.
Males.
Of course, they're all hush hush about it, but
I mean, I haven't heard anything about that. I don't think that news has been released yet. I think you just let yourself out of the bag there, Tex.
Hey, I might have. You heard it here.
That's right. So, it'd be like the Papa Rogers thing in the Idaho 4. There's a whole conspiracy thing with this guy that was on the chat boards as Papa Rogers, and everybody thinks it was Koberger and all that. But I think this is a really interesting case. It's still ongoing. I mean, so ongoing that there's still bodies showing up. We may be revisiting this one at some point in the future.
Oh, I have no doubts, dude.
Yeah, I think so, especially if they catch somebody. That'd be cool to get this fucking thing over with. But, we don't usually do them unsolved. It's super interesting and a great suggestion from Tex. And I do want to do a video on this, Tex, so we'll do that together. That'd be a lot of fun. But anything to add to this one, guys? Rainey Street Ripper, Lady Bird Lake serial killer, man. Screen door intruder's fucking cousin. I don't know.
I really got nothing.
No?
We can forget about the Lady Bird Lake killer.
Yeah, we can forget all about that.
Rainey Street
Ripper. I agree. So I did my research by watching a documentary from the Law and Crime Network. I thought it was really good on YouTube. Plus that serial killer database, Wikipedia, and some news articles there from Austin. A lot of stuff out there that is current. Like we said, it's unsolved. But thank you for coming on with us tonight, Tex. Always great to have you on, and your new companion there.
And thanks for having Doe on too. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, we'll tell Doe that we thank him too. We appreciate that. But next week, man, we are not stopping the brutality, gentlemen. The Wichita Massacre. This one is brutal.
Fuck, yeah.
The Wichita Horror, it's also called. A week-long crime spree in 2000.
Just
Reginald and Jonathan Carr, absolutely like horror show stuff. Really awful. They left 5 dead, 2 more seriously injured and probably scarred for life.
Yeah.
We're
Physically
gonna have,
and mentally.
Yeah.
And the homie Zev's going to be here.
Yeah, Zev Charles, who's a friend of the podcast. And you guys actually know him personally. I just know him through Facebook and stuff. But super dude. And who's going to be going on with us remotely, be from Chicago.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a full plate with him next week. He suggested it. So when we do that, man, we drag him on. And
yes, sir.
Like we did with, who did we recently do that with? We had, anytime somebody suggests something, we call them in here and get them to, subject themselves to Murder Metal Mayhem in the flesh. So, but he suggested it, and we're going to do that one next week. But Joey, how about some page a day, man?
I got some. I got 2 short ones and then a longer one. We've been off a little while, so had to pick through them. But anyway, I'll get right into it. The first one is some strange laws. Page Day does these strange law ones. They're pretty funny.
I love this, dude. I love the fucking stupid weird laws, dude. I love it.
Those are funny.
This one's a fishing edition. So,
oh shit!
All right, so in Montana, it is illegal for married women to fish alone on Sundays and for single women to fish alone at all.
Get the fuck out of here.
So here in Ohio, it is illegal to get a fish drunk. So you can't do that.
Well, that's not fun neither, dude. Have you ever gotten a fish drunk before? It's the best. You ever gotten crawfish drunk before and make them fight each other? Done that.
In Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, it's illegal to catch a fish with your hands. So you can't do that.
Can't go noodling?
No noodling.
Right. In Pennsylvania, it's illegal to catch a fish with any part of your body other than your mouth. So if you use your mouth, you're good to go.
Wow. Damn. What do you do about your breath for the rest of the day, though? That's rough.
Right?
It smells like some nasty pussy.
Where the fuck?
This last one has me mind boggled. The last one they got on this list is in Idaho, it's illegal to fish while sitting on the neck of a giraffe. So,
What the
wow, I hope
how many giraffes
Brian
have been in
Koberger
Idaho?
never did that. I hope Brian Koberger never
At
did
least
that.
one.
At least one. Yeah, fuck.
Hey.
That is so. What the fuck,
That's ridiculous.
All right, so the second one from Page a Day. Now they're talking about the song "Runaway Train" by Soul Asylum. Like if you remember that song from the 90s. So the frontman Dave Perner, when he wrote that song, the lyrics were meant as a metaphor for his depression. But when the director did the music video, Tony Kaye, he did a more literal approach, and he filled it with images of a ton of runaway and abducted children.
Right.
Everybody probably remembers the video, as well as the names and photos of the real missing kids. So there were 3 versions of the video. 36 missing kids were given airtime, and ultimately 26 of them were located.
Get the fuck out of here, really.
Wow.
Not all of them were happily reunited with their families. There were some that had been murdered by serial killers, or even one by their own parents. The guitarist of Soul Asylum, Dan Murphy, he actually encountered one girl who had run away from an abusive home, only to be returned when her image appeared in the video back to the abusive home.
Oh, God.
So overall, the video did have an undeniably positive impact on raising awareness. In 2019, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released a new version of that song with various artists, and they use geo-targeting technology, and they show photos and names of children who went missing, near the individual viewer's location. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty fucking dope. Hell yeah.
It's badass.
All right, now this last one's a little longer, but this is a fucking good one. This is a fucking pretty famous case. Listeners will probably start to know it as I'm talking about it, or it'll seem familiar. So what we're talking about is Grace Abbott Holmes. Now, Before leaving Mount Sinai Hospital Community Psychiatric Center for her home on April 22nd, 1987, Ruthie Mae McCoy told the clinical coordinator that she needed to get help getting out of her apartment and going somewhere else, and she's got to get out of there. She was well known around her building of Grace Abbott Homes for yelling at passersby when they got too close and scolding those who didn't lock their doors. Mental illness contributed to her paranoia, but it was also based in reality because in the 80s, the Abbott Homes was considered the most dangerous complex in the Chicago Housing Authority area, with 47.8% violent crimes occurring per 1,000 residents.
Candyman.
Compared to 22.9 per 1,000 residents citywide. So a lot of fucking crime going on there. She had been doing well since attending the outpatient program at Mount Sinai. She was socializing and working towards her GED. Staff in the program helped her apply for more aid, and she was able to buy a new winter coat, super nice one. And what she really needed to do, though, she kept telling them, was to get out of the Abbott Homes, but unfortunately that didn't happen for her. The same night that McCoy proclaimed her need to get out of there, 911 received a call from her reporting a break-in in progress at her apartment. The police responded 25 minutes and 2 more 911 calls from neighbors later.
Oh my
What the
God.
fuck?
There was no answer when they knocked, so they asked dispatch to call her phone. No one answered the phone either. They retrieved a key from the building's office, but didn't fit the lock, so unsure what they do, they left. The following evening,
man.
a neighbor with whom McCoy usually checked in twice a day contacted police, say that she hadn't heard from McCoy all day long. Police responded again, this time in the company of some CHA security guards. There's no response. The police are like, hey, we need to break the door down, but the security guards advised against it. So again, they left.
So the security guard overruled the fucking
housing
cops?
authority, apparently in this situation. So they finally, on April 24th, after they still hadn't heard from her, they fucking get somebody to come over, drill the lock on the door. Inside, they find her dead on the bedroom floor. She'd been shot 4 times. The medical examiner determined that she didn't die right away, indicating she probably could have still been alive when the police initially responded to the scene on the 22nd, though an injury to her pulmonary vein may have killed her en route to the hospital, but fuck, at least she would have had a chance.
Had a chance, yeah.
No doubt.
They speculated that the killers may have gotten the impression McCoy's that she had some money because of her new coat and clothes that she had, so they thought that maybe she had some cash stashed in their apartment, so that was a possible motive for the murder. It couldn't be determined whether money had been stolen from her apartment, but her television, rocking chair, and eerily her telephone were missing, meaning that someone had returned to her apartment after the 911 dispatch tried calling her while the police waited outside. So that's fucking weird. There were no signs of forced entry in McCoy's apartment, so police initially thought that she knew her attacker, although her 911 call suggested otherwise. And there was also something else missing from her apartment, and that was her bathroom medicine cabinet. Now, did the killers squeeze through the 1.5-foot opening of the bathroom from the neighboring apartment? It definitely wouldn't have been the first time, because on every floor in Abbott Homes there were 10 apartments, 4 of which were vulnerable to break-ins. And these had bathrooms that were back to back to the apartment next to them. So the intruder can unscrew their medicine cabinet in one bathroom to expose the back of the one in the apartment next to them. Right. Then they could easily unscrew that and get access.
Shit going on.
That's why I said Candyman.
Yep. Yeah. So fitting through the small opening, obviously that's tough, but not unheard of. Especially, thieves, man, these motherfuckers are shicey. So in an estimate made by the CHA official at that time, they said there had been fewer than 10 and probably only 7 reports of bathroom break-ins in the 18 months before her murder, though a local detective said there were probably 3 times that many because a lot of crimes, of course, in public housing went unreported. Right. McCoy's medicine cabinet was never found. Her killers had reaffixed the adjoining medicine cabinet back onto the wall by the time her body was discovered, and that was taken later as evidence. 2 people who were in the apartment next to McCoy's on the night of her murder were arrested on charges related to the killings, and the trials were held in 1990. And the defendants, they didn't make any effort to deny knowledge of the crime or their part in trying to stash her belongings, but the prosecution didn't have anything to go on to prove beyond reasonable doubt that they had fired the shots that killed McCoy. So her story flew mostly under the radar in the press, and there was no investigation in the police's confused response to the crime. But there was a journalist, Steve Bagheera, and he contrasted this with Nancy Clay, who was a wealthy woman whose death in a 1987 fire garnered weeks and weeks of media coverage. What Pete was just talking about, how some people get all the media background talking about them, and some don't. And that's exactly what happened here. So there was, after Nancy Clay, and when that happened, there was a Chicago City Council investigation publicly broadcasted. There was a testimony by the fire commissioner, proposed ordinances, all kinds of shit. And so Bagheera wrote, he said, "A housing project slaying is not the kind of murder that elicits widespread interest or prompts an outcry for punishment of the offenders. The trial would not earn so much as a mention in mainstream media," which sadly that's true. So, of course, this comes to the part that we were talking about, what this story, reminds everybody of. In 1987, Steve Bagheera, he wrote that article on the murder. They came in through the bathroom mirror, which was published in the Chicago Reader. When the 1992 horror movie Candyman came out, viewers familiar with the article were like, holy shit, this is like the same kind of story, somewhat. And at the beginning of the movie, of course, the woman's name is Ruthie Jean, and her neighbor's name is Anne Marie McCoy, so clear references to Ruthie Mae McCoy.
Yes, sir.
Like her murderer, the Candyman appears in the bathroom mirror before striking. However, the story is adapted from Clive Barker's short story The Forbidden, which is set in England, while the film adaptation is set in Chicago's Cabrini Green's public housing, which was even more notorious than the Abbott homes.
Oh, Cabrini Green was bad.
Yep. Bagheera admits to discussing a possible adaptation of his article into a movie, but he said that he would have to write in a white protagonist in order to have the film funded, so he didn't want anything to do with it. And he said it is possibly, entirely possible that the initial conversation was probably then bounced around through Hollywood until it fell into the script with Candyman, right? So, regardless, that was a fucking crazy case. Happened up in Chicago.
Yeah.
And, became kind of like an urban legend.
That is interesting.
I actually remember hearing about the actual case before as well. Once you start talking about that, I remember the whole bathrooms back to back. You could just take,
right.
That's wild, man. Fucking page a day.
Page a day, always out there.
Well, we've done our share of murdering tonight. I think it's time to crank up that metal. And Tex, why don't you tell us what the hell we need to do?
Let's get our metal on.
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you.
Hell yeah.
Fucking
Forever
right.
the great
CK,
metal
what
motherfucker. CK, and we do this segment, the metal segment, in his honor. He's always here in the studio with us. He's throwing those horns up, keeping the poser geists away.
Always.
So thank you, CCK. Cardboard
Boom.
CK back there.
That's the homie back there.
So with CK gone now, we pass the horns every week and take turns picking the metal segment. Chris, it's your turn. You got the horns.
Turn. I'm doing Crypta. And I'm not going to lie, this is not going to take very long because there's not a lot, because they're a fairly new band and they don't have a whole lot out or anything, but I like their music, and there's one story in particular that I wanted to say about the band that's close to home. And so anyway, Crypta, they're an all-female fucking death metal band from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, they formed in 2019, but they weren't announced as a band that they started this death metal band until 2020. And that's after Fernanda Lira and Luana D'Ameto. They were in Nervosa, who I have previously talked about before.
Right. Okay.
So they had left Nervosa and they started this band in 2020. Well, they had started the band in 2019, and so they fucking put that they got it going. I could go through all the stories about all their fucking who they've toured with, what singles they've had put out, but it's a long list of stuff I'm not gonna go through. So I'm basically just gonna go through like a couple studio releases and the band members and whatnot.
Yeah.
So like that's it. So like their first fucking full length album was in 2019. Well, it was recorded in 2019, but it came out in 2020 after they were announced as a band. But it was Echoes of the Soul. And then in 2023, just last year, they put out Shades of Sorrow. So that's the only 2 albums they have out. Which, don't get me wrong, they're both fucking badass. I love them. All female metal fucking shit going. I love it. Now, here's a story I wanted to talk about because, like I said, this is close to home. In March of 2023, right here in Illinois, in Belvedere, they were supporting Morbid Angel.
Oh, yeah.
That's when, like, shortly after fucking their set was over, a fucking F3 or 4 tornado, I can't remember which, hit the venue, killing at least 1 person, injuring like 40 others. But like, that's fucking nuts coming from Brazil playing a show in Illinois and out of nowhere you get slammed by a fucking tornado. Like,
right. It was between them and Skeletal Remains sets. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, that's just a crazy ass story. Just knowing that this band, all these bands, like Skeletal Remains, Morbid Angel, we talked about it when it happened. Like,
right.
Morbid Angel, Skeletal Remains, fucking Nervosa, fucking, or Crypta, like, holy shit, these guys are from nowhere near here, and they just happen to be in this fucking spot where this thing happens.
Yeah, I almost went to that show, too. That's what's fucked up.
Right?
Yeah, me and Joey almost went.
Yeah, but as far as their lineup, they got Fernanda Lira on, she plays bass and does vocals. There's Luana Diamedo on drums. Tayana, I always do this, Bergameshi on guitar, and Jessica De La Falchi on guitar as well. Sonia Unibis, I think Sonia Unibis. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm weird like that. But she was previously played guitar with them, but she left the band, and that's when they got Jessica Del Fucci, or one of them. But yeah, they're still active. They put out good music. They fucking jam. If you fucking dig death metal, even though it's all females, she's got good fucking vocals, man. Like,
no, it's wicked.
So
man.
like,
yeah, it's good stuff.
And all the other chicks, they can fucking play, dude. So go check out fucking Crypta,
they can
man.
play, man. They bring it. That's cool, man. Very cool. Very cool. And I got a lost classic for us. I actually have 2 because they're so good. Back-to-back releases. Propane. Gonna feel the pain. Not that Propane. The band Propane, they must have had some sort of drama or dispute, I'm assuming, with the label that put out a couple of their classic releases because they were not available streaming. They weren't available anywhere. Like, the band had some shit they were selling on their website, and that's about all you could get in physicals. I have both physicals, but it's nice to have it streaming too, you know. So anyway, they finally now released the classic self-titled from '98, and then the Contents Under Pressure, which was the album right before that, '96. Just both killer, and really, really digging that they finally released them to streaming.
You don't have to have
you don't have to have the physical, especially if you're in a vehicle or somewhere where there isn't, that option. It's just nice to have it. So yeah, definitely digging on that. And Joey, what's your plan next week? Because you got the horns next week, dude.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing next week.
Game time decision.
Yeah, I'll figure
That's
it
okay.
out.
All right.
We'll come up with something cool.
I'm sure you will. And what have we been listening to, Chris? Anything you wanted to mention?
I was listening to, actually, so Jeff got a new ride, dude, right? It's way nicer than the Nissan and shit. So but it doesn't have Bluetooth in it because But it's got a CD player, so I got busted out one of the CD cases. I was listening to some fucking Crotch Ripper. I was listening to Goremonger shit because it was in there. Also, you know what CD I had in there that I listened to?
Max Slider.
Prop.
Oh, wow.
Motherfucking Prop,
Prop,
bro.
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I'm listening to that shit.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers
Progressive repetition of pain.
Fucking
yeah.
right. I was jamming that shit, dude.
You know I knew
fucking,
that.
what else, dude? Fucking, I don't know, a little Blood for Blood.
That's cool.
The self-titled Slipknot. All kinds of shit.
That's cool. That's
Old
cool.
and new.
Joey, how about you? You listening to some like Engelbert Humperdinck there on the cruise and that kind of stuff?
Right. All kinds of partying stuff on the cruise, but for myself, I was jamming kind of went old school and was listening to Razor, Armed and Dangerous.
Oh, nice.
Shane should appreciate that.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Now, I've been listening to some newer shit because my buddy in Goratorium out in L.A., their Murderous Ritual Frenzy EP, I got a stack of those for the distro, which is cool. So Goratorium, represent them. My buddies in Between the Killings, they released their video for Omnipotence, which is the second album or EP on the Killing Quartet. They're releasing 4 EPs to make the album, and this is the second one that's coming out.
All right.
And they just did their music video, so that's badass.
Nice.
Also, since Justin and Ian are in Between the Killings, they're also in this band that dropped an album, Maimed. Maimed came out with Propagate Onslaught, which is a fucking killer album. It's has a lot of homies on it, but it also has work from James Murphy's on it.
Nice.
Chris Pravelis is the guitarist for Internal Bleeding.
Nice.
There's a bunch of people that are involved in that.
That's
it's kind of
cool.
like a project. It's a
it's a super group, bro.
yeah. It's a themed album. It's or a concept album. That's what it is. But it's really, really good. So Maimed, Propagate Onslaught. Also, listening to the fucking homies from Quad Cities, Illinois, Attack from the Tub.
Oh yeah,
Allison,
bro.
Fucking Eric.
Yeah.
They just dropped that new Meat Candy album. So fucking get that shit. Super sick.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I've been on that 200 Stab Wounds kick. God damn, the new single and then Slave to the Scalpel, just fucking nasty. Definitely digging that. And Exiled on Earth, it's a band I heard about from Shane. Death with a little thrash in there. It sounds like Death, like symbolic era music.
Right.
And vocally, it sounds, to me at least, some of the songs sound similar to Melee from Creators on vocals. So it's a cool Creator Death kind of combo. It's amazing. Their new album called Vertenenbra. It's a weird word. It's a made up word. Vertenenbra, as I think how you say it. Here's one we could all get into. Tombstoner. These
bro.
guys kill it. Rot Stink Rip is the album. It just came out a couple weeks ago. It's fucking amazing. Just some killer death metal from Staten Island, New York. Just wicked shit. And then I've been on that propane kick. I told you about that. So throwing the horn. Go ahead, Joey.
You know, I was just gonna say another band I was listening to, and I hadn't listened to these guys in a long time, but Black the Sky. Remember that band?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, they were from Illinois. They put out their album on Black the Sky.
Black the Sky.
It sounds familiar.
It sounds super familiar.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, look it up. Find their full length on it was put out by Epitomite Records, but man, that shit was sick. I remember them because they played a bunch of the shows around the Central Illinois scene for a while.
Yeah.
And I just kind of forgot about them, you know.
I think I know the bass player. I think I remember the bass player used to play with Blessed with Pain for a while, I think.
But check it out.
Yeah, awesome. Throwing the horns, Shane and I still doing it. Last week we had to skip it.
Yeah.
He had a medical situation. I was dealing with a vicious cold. I'm still having a little bit of it, but man, it was wicked. So we're back at it tomorrow. It'll come out on Monday to the YouTube channel. So check that out. 30 minutes or less. New metal releases, new stuff going on, metal news. It's been a lot of fun. We enjoy doing them. Get ready to do the 5th one here tomorrow. Joey, what's the latest with you and Goremonger and FTA Records and all that?
I guess mostly I got a new album, or not a new album. I got a show coming up June 8th up south of Lansing, Michigan.
Cool.
And that's going to be a good time. It's going to be a house party. And I know Crocodile's playing, and Blue Waffle Syrup, and a couple other bands. So pretty stoked on that. So house party, that's my next shindig. And then as far as the label, I got some new stuff. Like I said, I got that Goratorium EP in there. I need to get a updated list floating around, but yeah, hit me up if you want something.
Yeah, I still got a couple copies of our comedy CD too, so if you're interested, I think I have a link to that down below. You can get me get your copy. It's all signed by all three of us too, and it's fucking hilarious, man. 45 fucking fake commercials, just some of the dumbest shit we've done, but it's fucking hilarious. The 666 Club, those of you that belong, we appreciate you guys very much. That's our Patreon.
Do. Thank you guys.
Here for the
Everybody
podcast.
Thank you for being here for us.
Yeah, you guys get the episodes early. The interviews usually the day I do them or as soon as I can. But appreciate that. And I'll link to that below. $3 a month is all it is. And it's just a way to help pay the bills and get you a little bit VIP action here for Murder Metal Mayhem. So, all right. Well, I think we have done plenty of metal tonight. So, Joey, why don't you tell us what the fuck we're going to go do?
Let's go off into Mayhem for a little while.
Sounds like a plan.
Bonjour, this is Rockterio, and I'm here today to talk to you about Rockterio's Eternal Mountain Maple Syrup Elixir. It's craft made on location by the Ant Hill Kids at Eternal Mountain in our very own Maple Sugar Shack. It comes in a variety of flavors, including, but not limited to, sperm, toes, foreskin, and intestine with a hint of human hair. I lovingly mix each batch of syrup with my own penis, because it's so huge, of course, to add a touch of that distinctive Eternal Mountain flavor. With a bit of faith, it will cure whatever ails you, and then some. Guys, the ladies won't be able to keep their hands off you once they get a whiff of your maple syrup musk. And forget about your bedroom problems. You will be able to fuck all of the time, just like Rockterio. I tell you what, my kids are always impressed with the way I fuck, eh? And ladies, I haven't forgotten about you. Just my picture alone on the bottle should eliminate any vaginal dryness you may have. It's so potent, you will probably have to go for a pregnancy test after drinking a bottle of Rockterio's Eternal Mountain Maple Syrup Elixir. Don't take my word on it, though. Listen to these raving customer testimonials.
Hey guys, this is Chris with the Murder Metal Mayhem podcast. To my surprise, I found a human tooth in my bottle of Rockterio's Eternal Mountain Maple Syrup. It was a bonus for the extra calcium. Also, as you all know, I don't have teeth anyway, so that helped me out even more. Thank you, Rockterio.
Rockterio's Eternal Mountain Maple Syrup cleared up my digestive problems. I couldn't shit, and now I can't stop shitting. Fuck! I'm shitting right now, and it doesn't even cure your stomach issues. You can always schedule a consultation with Dr. Rock at the Eternal Mountain Healthy Living Center and have some of your intestines skillfully removed with a rusty knife.
Hey, my wife was so happy I ordered a bottle. My penis was as good as dead. Rock Ontario's Eternal Mountain maple syrup makes me hard for days. Being a pastor, not one that molests little children, but that likes my wife, at first it was awkward at church, but everybody loved my resurrection story, if you catch my drift. I'm talking about my penis getting hard, you fuckers. Forget about Viagra, this is the real deal. Plus it added length and girth to my member. My wife ordered me a second bottle and said, you need a bigger dick than you already have, you fucking loser. Get big penis. Get big penis as big as Rockterios now.
Rockterio's Eternal Mountain Maple Syrup Elixir is distributed by the Canadian Maple Syrup Mafia. Order online and use the code MurderMetalMayhem for a bonus necklace made out of human bones.
Oh my fucking God, that shit was funny.
Wow,
Shane over the top with that. Rockterio's Mountain Syrup. Oh my God. And that was all of us involved in that one. That was some epic shit there. And Shane wrote that whole thing. We just read those testimonials. He had it all written. Yeah, it was pretty funny. So a lot of fun there. And before that, Crypta, Chris, right. Trail of Traitors. That was a good tune. And killer band, man. Like I said, I like them.
Good as shit, man.
Really good stuff. And a good segment on them. I didn't know anything about them other than that they were a female death metal band. So,
right on.
All right, so we are in Mayhem, and this is where we tell some tales, Chris. You know,
fucking right it is.
We cut our teeth telling some tales here in Mayhem, and occasionally, you know, there's a story from back in the day when we started in 2018. Back in the day in 2018. Where we've told some of these stories, but, they're worth telling again, just kind of a revisit. And I'm sure there's plenty of listeners out there that have no idea that I've ever told this before. But I want to admit that I'm not like getting senile and I forgot.
Oh, you're fucking... Bro.
But this is a story my son, and I don't even remember what made him bring this up. And when you hear what this is about, you're going to also think, why in the fuck would a son bring this up to his father? But that's just my family, okay? It is what it is. So anyway, I was in high school, Bethel, Connecticut. It would have been maybe junior. Yeah, probably junior, senior. I don't remember which. 84, 85, somewhere in there. And we were sitting around the table at lunch and just, being fucking idiots, like always, talking stupid shit. And this one friend of ours, his name was Alan. I'm just going to leave it there. It's not the other person I've mentioned before. So this guy, Alan, he was telling a story about how his ass was so fucking hairy that he had to cut it with scissors to be able to take a shit. He told us this like at the lunch table, we're like, are you fucking kidding me? And he's like, no, if I'm like been sitting down, he says it forms like a net. So we started, I started calling him the net. I started calling him the net. What's that? You don't remember?
No.
Okay, well, the net. So of course, like me being me, I'm like asking questions, like follow-up questions, like, okay, so you've made this proclamation that you have to cut your ass hair with scissors to be able to shit. So can you explain to me, like, is there like a dedicated pair of scissors that you used? Or do you go like in the junk drawer in your kitchen and grab the scissors, cut your ass hair and then put it back? Like, what's going on?
This is my ass hair scissors.
Did you buy your own pair of scissors and they're like hidden, like up in a secret place? So anyway, he basically said that he just had those an extra pair of scissors that he kept in the
oh my God, dude.
in the underneath the sink in like the storage where you put your cleaning stuff and everything. he had scissors in there and he would use them and he would cut his ass hair and shit. So I'm like, well, what do you do if you're like out somewhere? Like, what do you do?
How fast does his ass hair grow that he has to cut his ass hair every time he shits? That's my question. Like, what the fuck?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. But this was just so ridiculous and so funny. And then forever we called him the Net. I mean, the last time I saw him on graduation day I called him the Net because that's what I called him.
God damn.
Yeah. It's fucking brutal, man.
For real.
That's fucking hilarious.
So I've always wondered, is he still doing that?
Ass hairs grows like bamboo.
I mean, I'd be doing like that Nair or something, like women do.
Right.
I just gotta go get my ass waxed. I'll probably have to do it again tomorrow. The fast as that shit grows, but
yeah, that is a good question. Like how long would it take to become a Net again?
Right.
God damn. Oh.
God damn, dude.
I thought you guys would like
that. They do use manure in the fields for fertilization. So I mean,
right?
So like,
that's true.
Maybe his ass is like a fucking cornfield. It's like,
yeah, I don't know.
That shit would be popular in Jamaica, man.
Dude, I was gonna say, dude. I mean, it grows like corn. It's really long. Might as well braid it into cornrows. Then you fucking at least got a fucking tunnel they can go through.
Right. Wow. All right. Well, guys, I hear that crowd's starting to get psyched up.
Damn it.
And we know what that means. That means we're about to do a killer cage match here, and that's where we've got a list of 100 killers that we came up with, 100 objects for them to fight with, a variable in the cage, and a song cranking up on our stereo system.
Yes, sir.
And we got some listeners we want to thank again for the random numbers.
Again, we have fucking Laura Kovacs, the one and only.
Hell yeah.
Mrs. CK. Fucking Laura, thank you again. I'm glad that you still fucking listening even though homie's not here. We love you. We got Veronica Sarah Love. Thank you, Veronica Sarah Love. We love you. And we got the homie from the vault, fucking Holly Joe Ziegler. What up, Holly? Thank you again.
Thank you, ladies, all three of you. We appreciate that. But we got a good one to tell you about tonight in the steel cage, fighting to the death. Joey, who's fighting?
We got Ed Gein, and he's going to be fighting the gangster, Babyface Nelson.
Oh, god damn. He had a little bit of a temper, Chris, if I remember it. He got a little angry. So, so this should be interesting. And the objects, I was like, wow, what are we going to do with this one, Chris?
But I don't know, but I know what they got. Now, they got themselves a box of tampons. Now, here's the problem.
Yeah.
They got themselves a box of tampons, but these are a box of used tampons. Yeah. They already blood-soaked and
nasty.
Just like, yeah, boy.
That's pretty nasty.
And they got themselves a large. We're talking about the size of like
a laptop?
Like a laptop, like a big laptop. Yeah, I was looking at your laptop like, not my laptop, but your laptop. A fucking, a big-ass fucking leather-bound Bible. You know those big, thick
like
ones?
Mama Geen would have probably had.
Yeah.
Mama Geen would have had some shit like that.
Big-ass fucking leather-bound Bible and a box of used-ass, bloody-ass
That's
tampons.
Disgusting. And what is the variable, Joey? This is really wild, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead.
Of course, hell yeah.
After smoking a 4-paper joint and drinking a quart of whiskey with Michael Shawback in the cage.
Okay.
God damn it.
Got Michael Shawback and Lemmy smoking a 4-paper joint and drinking a quart of whiskey, so it could get kind of wild. And the song cranking up, You Got Another Thing Coming by Judas Priest on that custom 666,000 watt Murder Metal Mayhem stereo, and that shit's thumping. That shit is just. I mean, people are getting fired the fuck up. Chris. So, Chris, the crowd is into this shit. So why don't you take it from here? What's gonna happen?
I'm gonna start this motherfucking fight off like this, so fucking Ed Gein. He just smells pussy in the air. He just smells pussy in the air. And he's just attracted to that fucking box of just menstrual-soaked tampons. He's like, oh, man, this is the greatest thing ever. So he's like over there, he's digging in him, he's licking him, sniffing him. Babyface Nelson, he's over there, he's looking at him, he's like, this guy's fucking weird. And he's like, and this so goddamn Ed Gein looks at him, he's like, I'm not weird, I'm just being me, bro. I'm just being me. This is what I do. You do what you do. Oh, wow. So fucking goddamn Babyface is like, okay, whatever. And he's like, you're too young. Ed Gein's like, you're too young for me anyway. Even though you're not, or even though you're a dude, you're just too young. He's like, just call me a babyface? He got pissed off. Babyface Nelson, because he hated.
Right. They
He's
always
like,
do.
You
man.
motherfucker, are you serious? So he just gets possessed. It's like The Exorcist. But he just gets possessed by the fucking priest from The Exorcist. And he grabs that Bible and he just starts slamming it into fucking Gein's head. He's like, the power of me compels you. Just slam him, killing the shit out of him. And he fucking turns around and he sees Michael and Lemmy sitting over in the corner just fucking higher than shit, dude.
Right. Yeah,
higher than
really
fuck. And they still got... That court wasn't shit for Lemmy and Michael. That court ain't nothing. They
just getting things the party started.
Yeah, now they're just sitting there. They got a fucking whole fucking 3 fists sitting there of Jack Daniels sitting around like, we're drinking this. This dude just smashed this dude's head in. And then he's like, hey, let me hit play on this. Or Michael's like, let me hit play on this tape. Hits play on the cassette player. And you got another thing comes on.
Yeah.
And fucking Michael's like, yes! Fucking priest, you got another thing coming. Motherfucking, you got another thing coming, babyface. Because Lemmy is God. Take that Bible and shove it up your ass. Because Lemmy is God. And Lemmy just hits a fucking goddamn, the lowest note he can on that bass and just drums fucking Babyface's skull out of his head.
Wow.
I'm giving it to Lemmy and Michael.
Nice. That's hard to argue that one, Joey, but I know you will. I know that bubbler's got you all fired up. The crowd's getting more intense here, man. They want to hear some more loving a Killer Cage match.
All right, so in this Killer Cage match, when the bell rings, of course, Judas Priest all over the goddamn stereo system. Everybody's fucking rocking in the fucking arena, having a good time. Babyface Nelson, this motherfucker is just dying laughing because he knows that he will just fucking beat this old man's ass. Jesus Christ. Ed Gein, he's fucking just sitting around like a space cadet because he don't really give a fuck what's going on because he's off in his own goddamn world.
Always.
And he sees that Bible down there and man, he's feeling at home. He don't feel fucking weird in the cage match. Now,
because that's Mama.
Babyface Nelson, as he's wanting to pummel Ed Gein, the problem is he hears this goddamn gibberish coming out of this tall ass dude with a handlebar mustache in the corner who's all lit up, fucking higher and shit, hanging out with fucking tons of fun. And he's like, man, who is this fucking dude who's just trying to sing Judas Priest, Another Thing Coming, but I can't understand a word that's coming out of his mouth. And Lemmy's like, yeah, I don't even know. He's wasted. Lemmy's like, I wrote that fucking song. That's a Motorhead song. Judas Priest stole it. Fuck them, them bloody pussies. And he's just fucking lit up. And the problem is now Babyface Nelson is completely distracted onto what's going on there. And Ed Gein takes this as his advantage. And he fucking just pummels his fucking spine in the back with his fucking fists until Babyface is down on the ground, paralyzed. And Ed Gein's like, you don't know what I want, motherfucker, but you got another thing coming. And he starts fucking peeling Babyface's baby face off of his face. And he's like, I want to wear this. And he takes the fucking bloody tampons and uses the strings to fucking create this badass Babyface Nelson mask that he puts on
and shit.
As Babyface is bleeding out from his face getting ripped off. And Ed Gein picks up that Bible and just lovingly reads it as the tall mustache dude in the corner is just screaming gibberish, Judas Priest style.
Wow.
So, Ed Gein in this one.
I love what you did with that, bro.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Fucking Killer Cage match. That's why the listeners really dig it. it just gets crazy, but it's a lot of fun. And they picked the people and what happens here, so we're just telling the tale. I had a good book signing Saturday in Pekin, Illinois, at this place called Tales of a Bookworm. It's a bookstore. It's actually a really nice bookstore. They got some used, some new, a lot of cool stickers and things like that for all different kinds of things people are digging. But it was that most of their money, or a lot of the money, goes to charity, and it's pet shelters and things like that. And so they asked me and a bunch of other local authors to do it.
Make money selling them fucking cats to fucking Chinese restaurants.
So no, the guy that runs it contacted me and a bunch of other authors.
I'm just
to
joking,
do this.
everyone. Don't take that serious.
Of course. And Sue Rovens was there. Joe Chianakis, he's a pretty well-known author. He's from Peoria. There were a few. Really good turnout. Met a few listeners of the podcast. Several channel viewers were there, so that was cool.
Fucking right. Hell
yeah. Got interviewed by the Journal Star there. The guy went around to look at all the tables, and then he came back and he said, I looked at all these tables and yours is by far the most interesting. And that's why I did the interview, because I had the forearm with me. You know, I mean, that's a showstopper. And then my table cover is all blood spattered, so I mean, I stick out at something like that.
Interview now?
Yeah.
Fucking right.
Yeah, right there at the table we did the interview. So it was cool. And then he said there might be a photographer coming by later. You'll be able to tell. I'll have a press pass and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And he did come through, all into the forearm, taking all kinds of pictures with like this really nice camera with lenses and shit. And he wound up buying one of my books. He bought Enoch Strange. So I'm like, hell yeah, dude. So it was a great event. Sold quite a few things, and so thank you those that came out. That was super cool.
This is why we do local shit. Everybody out there.
Yeah, and it was, I donated part of what I made, as the other authors did as well, to the charity. So it was a good event.
Wherever anyone is listening do stuff at your local spot.
Yeah, try to help where you can. Now, The Creation of Chaos 4 is my latest book. You can order it at PeteAltieri.com. I'll link to that in the description. I am working right now on Chasms of Chaos, which is going to be out by the end of the summer. Brian Usual's doing the cover again. I'll link to my website in the episode description. And check out my web store with all of my books. I got audiobooks there. I also have them on Audible, Amazon, and Apple. Grab them wherever you want, but I don't get hardly anything when they're sold that way. You can get them on my website. Helps a little bit more, but you can get them wherever you want. All right. Well, guys, I think we have done plenty of mayhem. Chris, can you pass me those scissors? And let's
cut the net down.
I'm going to cut the net. So let's hit that outro.
We got it, dude. We got it.
Oh, man. Fuck yeah, man. Some Tombstoner.
Yeah, I want to check that shit out.
And that song, Fucking Nasty. I love it, man. I'm so jealous I didn't write a song called Fucking Nasty. Definitely digging it. The whole album is like that. It rips. They're from Staten Island, New York, as I mentioned. Rot, Stink, Rip is the album. Go check them out. All right, big thanks.
Check them out.
Yeah, definitely, dude. You'll dig it. Big thanks to Tex for coming on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Tex.
Him and his new Marshall Applewhite mask over there.
Yeah.
Definitely loving that. And always good to have him in the mix here with us.
Always, every time.
Yeah, and that metal segment intro, Chris.
We got the fucking great metal motherfucker by the one and only Crysis. What's up?
Yeah,
thank you,
Joey
Crysis,
Coffin.
for not suing us.
Yeah. Bumper music tonight, Joey.
Tombstoner, 200 Stab Wounds, and Crypta.
Nasty. Fucking nasty. And the Murder Metal Mayhem intro is also nasty, and that's Crawl Space by Low 12.
It's gay.
And thanks to all of you listening out there. And you guys on YouTube, that got me good. YouTube for watching. We keep seeing those numbers rolling in. We appreciate it very much. And got some good ones here this time. Chris, why don't you read the first one?
I'm going to add, I got my, but it's Jimmy for you too. Says, love the 666 fix story. I remember it vaguely. I was pretty young. I grew up outside of Pittsburgh. I really love the podcast, and I'm glad I found you on YouTube.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Jimmy. Fuck yeah,
that's
dude.
fucking great, dude. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Joey, how about that second one, man?
Peter Steele Rules 88 said, "This is the funniest true crime podcast I've ever heard. The metal makes it that much better. Have you covered Typo Negative yet?" And I honestly can't remember if CK had done them.
I don't think so. When I saw Peter Steele, I'm like, oh, no surprise, right? But that's cool. Thank you for the nice compliment. That it's funny.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have either. I know not really my bag, but I mean, it's a huge, obviously, a band for a lot of people.
It's going to be a long metal segment.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't think we have done
just
him
like
yet.
Peter Steele's cock.
Now, Cynthia Jacqueline commented on YouTube, the God's Misfits episode. Crazy friggin' shit. You three are smoking. Love it. Can't wait for more. I will enjoy some kush-ups from Death Row, couch lock, milk, and cookies. So, Joey, I figured you knew that language there pretty well.
I speak jive.
You just called me a jive turkey?
Chris, what about that last one?
Oh man. Last one we got Reno Mountain biking lady time. Okay.
It was all one word. I tried to break it up so it was
Reno
a little
Mountain
easy.
biking lady time.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you.
Fucking thank you so fucking much. We appreciate that. Goddamn, go out there and do some biking in the mountains, dude. But she says 666
It was from
episode.
the 666 Fix podcast episode.
Okay, she says this is the first to your podcast. I've been following the YouTube channel. Love your stuff. This sounds intriguing, and he's right. The Reebok logo does look like predatory target. Listening from Reno, Nevada. Yes, it does.
Hell yeah. So she or he, I'm not sure. Lady time, I'm not sure if it's a lady or if it's a guy that wants some lady time or a lady that wants some lady time. Like, I don't know. But whatever. Thank you from Reno, Nevada. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you for listening. Keep listening.
Yeah, pick up one of my books. Check the episode description for a link to PeteAltieri.com. MurderMetalMayhem.com. We got all kinds of stuff. We got the t-shirts. I'm almost out of stickers. I'm getting ready to order more. I meant to last week and I didn't get it together, so I am going to do that. I'm going to get some shirts too. Pick up the new album, Hysterical, Distasteful, and Stupid. I do have a couple of them left. They're $12 ship in the U.S. Joey's got them as well, so you can get them, but there's not many left. Email me, pete@murdermetalmayhem.com, or go to the link below and you'll see it. Joey, anything you want to mention again on the distro or Goremonger?
Nope. Come out to a show, Michigan, June 8th. See me play a house party. Thomas Owsley, where are you at?
Yeah,
that's
the
our
house
666 Club member that brought the weed to Fort Wayne.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, the house parties, I always love doing those in Low 12. Like us on Facebook, the group. We follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't miss any of the videos and stuff we're doing. We do have an Instagram page, but we're not really doing anything with that yet, but maybe we will. Support the show. Join the 666 Club, that Patreon, just $3 a month. Patreon.com/MurderMetalMayhem. But we can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song, a little blast from the past, so crank this one up. And until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And keep your hands wrapping tape around your fucking entire head, then wrapping your legs, and then wrapping your arms and walking into a lake.
But it's an accident.
It was an accident.
All by accident.
I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. In the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Your love, how deep is your love? I really mean to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. You're my savior when I fall. And you may not think I care for you, when you know down inside that I really fucking do. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. What the fuck is that? And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. Da 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 da. Yeah. Deep is your love. How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. Da 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 da. Yeah. Your love, how deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down.
Mother, man.